anti-Christian censorship in our country continues to roll on. And see, this is why when people say to me, Sheila, if Alberta leaves and Saskatchewan leaves with Alberta, you must take Manitoba. To that I say, you guys got some fixing to do before you're allowed to come with the big kids.
Yeah, we're going to take every part outside of Winnipeg, I think. We're just going to annex Winnipeg proper, and then take the rest of Manitoba.
We're going to leave Winnipeg. We're going to leave Winnipeg behind.
Yeah.
I'll be fine if we leave Edmonton behind too, frankly.
Right.
City denies permit for controversial Christian musician's Winnipeg appearance. Why? Safety. City of Winnipeg has canceled a booking permit for a controversial musician who's had shows canceled throughout Eastern Canada. Central Park booking request for a performance by Christian musician Sean Feucht on August 20th. The booking was for the exclusive use of the park, which included a conference. They say, and this is from the city, after careful analysis, we determined it is not operationally feasible to allow the event at Central Park, the city's spokesperson said. As this is not a ticketed event, forecasting attendance is a challenge that in turn presents additional operational challenges. Okay, that is absolute garbage because Canada Day is not a ticketed event.
Right. It's just a general event that you can stumble in on. And that whole entire sentence, Sheila Gunn-Reid, that whole entire sentence was bureaucratic doublespeak to say, oh, gee, we have a problematic event that accidentally got booked. Well, let's just reference our policies and procedures and regulations and make sure that we can find a reason that this event can't go ahead. That's what's happening here. But nobody's ever accused Winnipeg of being the sharpest marble. Okay. Winnipeg learns its lessons the hard way. If you've ever had the misfortune. Yeah. Oh, I mean, the privilege of visiting Winnipeg, nothing against our Winnipeg viewers, but this is going to
city council leaves a little to be desired. That's for darn sure.
Yeah, this is going to backfire spectacularly on the city of Winnipeg, because not only is this event going to go ahead in a different location, but they are going to have so much press coverage of it that it's going to guarantee it to be a success. So well done, Winnipeg, shining a light on this, and behaving like an authoritarian tyrant. Way to go.
By the way, the province of Alberta, Sean Feucht, is going through the permitting process to use the Alberta legislature grounds. And they use those for anything, right? Like you just have to go through the proper permitting process.
Right.
When we reached out to them for comment, and I show this in my video yesterday, because the left in Alberta is really starting a pressure campaign. Janice Irwin, who was a daily cringe criminal here on Rebel News, NDP MLA dancing shoeless on a street
in an alley.
Enjoy your planter's warts and everything else you contracted. The alphabet soup of hepatitis. David Shepherd, who's the House leader for the NDP, he also spoke out about it, although his was in a dirty delete. He realized, oh, I better leave this to Janice or whatever. They're putting pressure on it. Chris Wells, the sex activist weirdo, Trudeau appointee senator for Alberta, he's also saying, well, this is hateful. Okay. And then now all of a sudden, he's become some sort of internet theologian where it's like, this isn't what real Christianity is. And I'm like, can I tell you about John 8:11, where Jesus forgives the sinner, but also then says, sin no more, go forth and sin no more. We don't tolerate sin. We forgive the sinner on the condition that you'll do your best not to do it again. It doesn't mean approve everything. Like that's just hedonism then.
And yes, and to put a real fine point on it, for all of these left-leaning goblins who are saying that Sean Feucht should be canceled in Canada, I wonder if they're going to have anything to say about this little piece of information that comes to us from our friend Melanie Bennett over there at Juno News, who divulges that, who says this on Twitter: while everyone is having a seizure over Sean Feucht, the Islamic Relief Canada group is kicking off its own tour on July 31st. She continues, might I remind you that Islamic Relief Canada was listed as a terrorist organization in 2014. So we have a terror tour, okay, a terror tour that is happening in Canada this summer, kicking off on August 1st through August 10th, with stops in Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa, Vancouver, Alberta, British Columbia, London, Windsor, and Halifax, being hosted by a declared terrorist organization. Are these same people who are saying Sean Feucht should not be in the country performing going to do anything about this declared terrorist group doing a terror tour in Canada this summer?
Kneecap is playing sold out shows. And they're like the Death to the Jews rappers. That's fine.
Wild.
Nobody's saying anything about that. I just want to read from this response. I included it, like I said, I included the response if you want to see it in my video that went out yesterday on the NDP cancellation efforts of Sean Feucht in Alberta. This is when we reached out to the Alberta legislature, the Minister of Infrastructure, who is in charge of the legislature grounds.
Yep.
Said to us, Alberta is committed to supporting and respecting everyone's right to free speech. We have we have a duty to uphold these rights and freedoms regardless of an individual's religious or political beliefs. The government of Alberta does not engage in shutting down or censoring law-abiding events. Events held on the Alberta legislature grounds range from performances, celebrations, and festivals to rallies, flag raisings, and commemorative ceremonies. As is standard practice, organizations may book outdoor or indoor event space at the Alberta legislature by completing a standard application form. All applicants must comply with established security protocols, public safety requirements, and venue guidelines. And then they go on to confirm to us that Revive in 25, Let Us Worship event scheduled for August 22nd is currently working through its event permit application. And so no special treatment, no special bias against them. You can get the space like everybody else if you go through the permitting process, and the Alberta government will not censor you on the basis of your political or religious beliefs. That's how it's supposed to be every other place in this country, like that.
This is how it's done. This is how it's done. And that Winnipeg saw what happened in Montreal and Toronto and decided to take this course of action says more about the administration of the provincial government of Manitoba than it does anything else.
Yeah.